Good evening. This is the Tech Talk for Jason Pollock and Davina Dietrich concerning the ACLS SimPad operations. We're going to talk about the background of the SimPad distribution. First, the purpose was for standardization of instructor training as well as the cost. It saved us a lot of money to build these in-house and distribute them. The biggest barriers were that distribution infrastructure. It became difficult to get them out to each individual site, but it was cost effective compared to the cost. We had to concern ourselves with instructor training and instructor proficiency to make sure that the design was used appropriately. In this talk, we're going to discuss the Laerdal SimPad and LinkBox for the ACLS simulation operations. We're going to talk about powering on the device and powering off the device, transferring SCEs or scenarios to the device, and automatic mode operations. The SimPad is the controls for the simulation or the user interface for simulation operations, while the LinkBox provides signals to the mannequin as directed by the SimPad. To turn on the SimPad, press the power button located on the top for at least half a second. You're going to visualize the green LED that will be blinking while it's turning on. Then there'll be a Laerdal start chime followed by 5 icon home screen. Okay? To turn on the LinkBox does not have an internal power, so it needs to be connected to the provided battery or external power like a wall socket. Press the power button for 2 seconds. Visualize the power LED. It'll be flashing green. And the process is complete when the LED is glowing a steady green or blue based on whether it has a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, green indicates there is no connection with the SimPad, and blue indicates there is a connection with the SimPad. To transfer the scenarios to the SimPad, make sure your computer is powered on. Locate the ACLS scenarios file on your desktop. You're going to want to power on the SimPad and make sure that the SimPad is either connected to external power or has 75% power left on the battery. Then you're going to connect a USB to the computer and to the SimPad. In the File View folder on your computer, you'll see the SimPad window. Within the SimPad window, you'll identify the folders for logs, scenarios, themes, and the software. To make sure that there's a clean transfer of the new scenarios, delete the logs, scenarios, and themes folder, leaving the software folder. To delete these, select them, hit delete, and then they'll disappear from the SimPad. Once you've connected the SimPad to the computer, locate the SCE folders on the desktop. What you want to do then is select the folder and drag and drop them onto the SimPad. Once they're on the SimPad, you can disconnect and get ready to use it. Once the SimPad is powered up and all the scenarios are transferred, you'll have this 5 icon home screen. Top of the screen gives you details about battery status and connection and the clock. Then from left to right, the top 3 allows you to run scenarios in manual operation. The next one is the automatic mode, or run the pre-programmed scenarios. The next screen is select the log to facilitate a debriefing. Then you have the Sim Store at the bottom where you can buy products from Laerdal, and you can adjust the display brightness and all the other clock settings and everything within the system settings screen. All of the ACLS programming is in the automatic mode. So by selecting the automatic mode, it allows the operator to use the pre-programmed scenarios for a standardized training event. The mannequin will auto-detect some interventions, such as CPR and pulse checks. An intervention selected by the instructor or auto-detected by the mannequin will be registered in the log. Selecting the automatic mode will launch the different programming scenarios. After selecting the automatic mode, you'll have to select a LinkBox for the SimPad to operate. You can use a SimPad for practice, for practicing your instructional technique by selecting Run Without LinkBox. This just allows you to use the graphic user interface to get to know where the different buttons are within each one of the scenarios. If you're going to be running a scenario or actually connecting to a mannequin, any of the LinkBoxes that are available will show up underneath where it says run without link box, and then you can select the one that you want to operate. Once you've connected the SimPad to the link box, you will have the scenario folders. Folders are grouped into cardiac abnormalities. Selecting one of these general categories will expand the automatic scenarios within that folder. So the automatic scenarios are associated with the AHA ACLS manual by their page number in the manual, the case number. So if there's 2 cases on a specific page, 1 indicates the scenario located at the top of the page, 2 indicates the scenario at the bottom of the page. The version of the programming, currently we're on version B, cardiac abnormality, and then the setting for the scenario, so in hospital IH or out of hospital OOH. You have options for viewing the details of the scenario. So we have the scenario outline is step-by-step information for the instructor. The learner brief is given to the student prior to commencing the training scenario. You have the learning objectives, and they're copied from the AHA manual. Then you have the recommendations for equipment to use within the scenario. Selecting the scenario outline will open up and give you the information as the instructor. So the scenario outline expands and gives the instructor information for scenario-specific events, as well as standardized questions with answers for algorithm review prior to the learner showing their skills. The learner brief provides the student information prior to commencing the training, so valid information that they need before they actually commence the scenario. And then you'll select the Start button at the bottom. Session information screen allows for input of the instructor and the participants. So touching the blank space next to the instructor would launch a soft key on-screen keyboard that allows you to put the information in of who the instructor is. Once data is put in there, you select OK, and it goes back to the session information screen where you can continue for the participants. When all names are noted in the session information screen, select the OK button, and that'll launch the scenario. Top of the screen is the patient status area. This area displays the current patient physiology represented by the mannequin. It includes the heart rhythm, the rate, blood pressure, respirations, temperature, oxygen saturation, and a brief description of the physiology state. The intervention categories are general phases of management and associated with scenario progression. In this specific scenario, the patient will initially be in a bradycardia, then progress through ventricular fibrillation, and then present an asystolic rhythm for the learner to manage. Learner actions are the specific interventions required to complete the training. Within the learner actions text, a group of exclamation points indicate the instructor will receive additional scenario information based on the learner interventions. The grouped exclamation points will have a pop-out that are contextual based on the learner response. As indicated in the left picture, the instructor would provide the student with the information only if the student requested it. As with the group of exclamation points, a group of asterisks and a darker gray arrow indicate a mannequin physiology change. Time from scenario start is located at the bottom of the screen, and additionally, the instructor can make annotations by selecting the keyboard icon located in the lower right of the screen. For instructor input, selecting the keyboard will allow for a free text entry that's time-stamped within the scenario timeline. After input, select OK, then the menu icon to return to the scenario screen. To end the scenario, select the menu icon located at the top of the screen. The window will allow you the option to pause or end the scenario. In ending the scenario, you have a couple options. You can view the log, which allows you to use the timeline for debrief of the student performance. You can resume the session if you inadvertently hit the button. You can start a new session. The new session button will return you to the general scenario screen, and then the quit button will return you to the 5-icon home screen. In this brief demonstration, we discussed operation of the Laerdal SimPad and link box for simulation operations, powering the devices on and off, transferring scenarios, and the automatic mode operations. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, please feel free to message us on the web board. Thank you.